My name is Knut Witkowski. I was at the Rockefeller University for 20 years, head of the Department of Biostatistics, Epidemiology, and Research Design. And before that, I worked for 15 years with Klaus Dietz, one of the leading epidemiologists in the world, in the German town of Tübingen at the Eberhard Karls University.
You gave recommendations for how best to deal with COVID-19. Could you just describe what you wrote?
With all respiratory diseases, the only thing that stops the disease is herd immunity. About 80% of the people need to have had contact with the virus, and the majority of them won't even have recognized that they were infected, or they had very, very mild symptoms, especially if they are children. So it's very important to keep the schools open and kids mingling, to spread the virus, to get herd immunity as fast as possible. And then the elderly people who should be separated and the nursing homes should be closed during that time can come back and meet their children and grandchildren after about 4 weeks when the virus has been exterminated.
So what do you make of the policy that was enacted in the United States and England and most places throughout the world? This policy of containment, shelter in place, etc. What's your opinion of it?
Well, what people are trying to do is to flatten the curve. I don't really know why. But what happens if you flatten the curve, you also prolong to widen it, and it takes more time. And I don't see a good reason for a respiratory disease to stay in the population longer than necessary. There are two other SARS viruses before. Coronaviruses. It's not the first coronavirus that comes out, and it won't be the last. And for all respiratory diseases, we have the same type of an epidemic. If you leave it alone, it comes for 2 weeks, it peaks, and it goes for 2 weeks, and it's gone. I'm not paid by the government, so I'm entitled to actually do science. If the government if there had been no intervention, the epidemic would have been over. Social distancing definitely is good. It prevented the sky from falling down.
Are you being ironic?
Of course. There are no indications that this flu is fundamentally different from every other flu. For a respiratory disease, the flu ends during springtime when people spend more time outdoors, because outdoors the viruses cannot easily spread. That is a form of containment. Spending more time outdoors.
So we're now spending more time indoors. We've been told to go indoors. Doesn't that help keep the virus going?
Well, healthy. It keeps the virus healthy, yeah.
So we should be told to go outdoors.
Yeah. But going outdoors is what stops every respiratory disease.